Hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Keith. How are you these days?
A lot better now. It's cooler down here or up here.
Yeah, I know, but I'm a summer baby, so I don't
Oh,
want summer to go away yet.
oh, really? I,
No, I don't like cold. I don't
I,
like cold weather at
I,
all.
I want fall. That's my favorite time of year.
Yeah. So,
It was 60 degrees up here this morning when
wow.
I got up. Yeah,
Yeah, we're talking that we're supposed to be having a little cold snap here
yeah.
this next week. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute my phone so that doesn't do crazy things for me. All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's everyone?
Doing good. How are you doing, Sue?
I'm doing all right. Just kind of waiting and looking at emails for 10 o'clock to arrive.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
see Michael was the first one on the meeting. He got there around 9:30 this morning. It's like, oh, he probably just thinking, oh, I need to join this meeting while I'm thinking about it. As everything goes. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do things right when you think about it. Otherwise, it'll get lost in the shuffle.
that's true.
Good morning, Missouri Evergreeners.
Hi, Kate. How are you this morning?
Doing pretty well. How about
Morning.
everyone else? How you feeling, Mickey?
I am much improved. Thank you very much.
Glad to hear it. We have someone with COVID right now and she is pretty sick.
Mm.
Yeah, we've got somebody out with COVID this week too, so. Those things.
There's some watermelon and some cantaloupe in there if you want that. I think we're going to wait a few more moments for other people to join. Probably start the meeting at like 10:02. I'm actually looking to see if Rebecca's here or if we need to find somebody else to take minutes. Hmm.
Not it.
I see Rebecca's here, so we don't have an issue. Thank you, Rebecca, for joining us today.
Yeah, I made it. We have
Yay!
CPR certification going this morning, and I have a staff member that had lost her husband very suddenly to a heart attack, and it
okay.
triggered some emotion there. So
Yes, of course. Totally understand that. I do.
I am here and ready to go.
Right. Do you want us to put our names and libraries in the chat box for attendance, or how do you want to handle the?
Let me see. I usually handwrite it.
I
And
know there's one person I think on a phone that's a 417 number. You don't know who that is. Maybe have that person.
yeah, everybody else I've got full names on.
Okay.
So if I can at least get the phone, then that should be good. And I'll just keep an eye on it throughout the meeting and as people join.
Okay.
If I need anything, I'll ask. How many do we need to have on the meeting for a quorum?
Well, we have 29 on our meeting, and I know we have some. I think. I don't remember. I've been on so many different boards, so I don't know if the members present make the quorum or we have to have a certain number. I don't remember.
I don't know either.
I think in a vote, the count is a majority of the members present.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ron. See, somebody's going to keep us straight. Thank you. All right. Well, we have 10:03, so let's see, we've got 30 members. So on the call, or 30 people on the call. So we're going to make that majority of the members present, as Ron had stated. So we're going to call the meeting to order at 10:03 a.m. Yeah. And I know that we had the minutes are here. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to share my screen. And I know that they weren't sent out on the listserv, and I apologize for that. But we can kind of look them over real quickly. I'm not really seeing anything that's, Rebecca is really great at making full sentences and really taking great minutes. I don't feel the need to actually read them out loud, but if you want, I can show them on the screen that I'm sharing, and we can just pass it that way if everybody approves of that method.
I move to accept the minutes as presented.
All right, thank you, Kate. Like I said, a lot of it was just a lot reporting from the different committees. And sorry that I didn't get all the way down to the bottom. So there we are. So Kate has made the motion to approve, and I will need to have a second for that.
Second.
Oh, which one was first?
I
Somebody
caught
call it.
Diane.
Okay, thank you, Diane. All in favor, say aye or wave your hand, or
Aye.
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 all right. I know it's hard to do when some of us don't even have our video showing. So from this point forward, I'm going to say if there is an objection to a motion, then we will hear the objections. All right, executive board reports would be the next thing. The first thing we need to do is, oh, come on, go away now. My screen sharing, it's all underneath that. Here we go. Let me move this guy out of the way. So we have the 2022-2023 draft budget that we are presenting to the members for approval. let's see. You will see a few things here. Of course, our membership fees, that's based on our consortium as it stands now. We added the user conference, that's LSTA funds, supported the user conference that will have some more details coming in the next section. And then, of course, the LSTA hosting support grant from the Missouri State Library. A few things that we added under expenses were the training and mileage expenses. Actually, that came to be in this year's budget, but we actually moved that into its own little category going forward. We also did the contract services, the Evergreen support, that will be what I'm going to call locally funded, not LSTA funded. And of course, we have our program expenses, Equinox hosting and support. We will talk a little bit more about that. And of course, we have our offsetting accounts for our user conference as well. We talked about recouping as part of our budget. When we add new libraries into our consortium, we have the initial hosting fees. Shannon's shaking her head yes, so I want to make sure that I'm saying this correctly. And previously, we have just been absorbing that into our budget. We haven't really made that a budget line. So therefore, we are kind of separating that out a little bit under the expenses for Equinox, because those vary from the year to year, depends on the libraries that are coming into our consortium. We do have the reserve policy that's been met. So we kind of did that as part of this. You know, we will maintain the reserve equal to at least 50% of the previous year's operating budget for addressing emergencies, covering temporary revenue shortfalls, and providing stability through the economic cycles. Once again, we've checked that off because we've met that reserve. We also had the developed fund policy that we've said not less than 1% of membership fees. So all of that has been considered as we present this budget to you. Mickey and or Shannon, is there anything else that we would like to talk about concerning the budget to let our members know? I'm seeing a no from Shannon. Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve the budget as drafted for
I'll make the
2022.
motion.
Is that
I'll make
Ron?
the motion. Johnson.
Okay. And I would need to have a second.
I'll second that, Michael Davis.
Thank you, Michael. So the motion has been made and seconded. If anyone objects to approving this budget, please speak up now. Otherwise, we will consider it passed by acclamation. All right, now I'm going to turn over the mic to Shannon for the final grant report survey of libraries that she needs to have done.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good morning. The final report for fiscal year 2022's LSTA grant is due September 15th. Part of that final grant report requires a survey of the members and those survey results turned in with that final report. Mickey and I are meeting tomorrow and we're going to draft a Google form to collect the survey results that will go out to the Missouri Evergreen Directors Listserv. What we wanted to mention in today's meeting is that we're gonna need a really fast turnaround on those survey results so that we can have time to put together well, I say we, Mickey can have time to put together the final report for the LSTA grant. And we really are aiming for 100% participation in that survey. So if we don't hear from some libraries, we might be reaching out directly to those directors, asking them to make that a priority to get those answers to those questions into the Missouri Evergreen member survey report. So we just want to kind of give a heads up to watch your inbox for that survey. And if you have any questions about the survey, we're willing to take those questions now. And I think the survey questions were already submitted with the grant. Typically with an LSTA grant, your survey has to be approved when you apply. So we already have the questions. We're just drafting the Google form and getting it sent out to the membership so that we can get those results back and send those results in with the final report on the grant. If Mickey
right.
has nothing to add, that's all I have.
All right. Well,
Nothing
thank
to
you.
add.
All right, thank you, Mickey and Shannon, for taking care of that final grant report in the survey. We will be looking, for that to get to our inboxes soon. All right. Moving on to the interview panels for the consortium cataloger. Ron Eifert, would you like to take the floor, please?
Sure. We have interviewed 3 candidates for this position. The bonus is all 3 are intimately acquainted with Evergreen processes and cataloging in Evergreen. That was a learning curve that Greg really had to overcome. And the new person is already going to be jumping in with that knowledge. The candidates we've interviewed have had a variety of experience working with large to small libraries. And I really feel that whoever we hire is going to have a heart for the smaller libraries out there that struggle to keep up with cataloging. And, they've got some really good approaches of how to help out our smallest libraries. Like I said, we've interviewed 3 people. I would feel comfortable with any of the 3. There were some that I liked better than others, but I would feel comfortable with any of the 3, putting them in place, doing the consortium cataloger position. The executive board will be meeting later this month to kind of compare notes. Some of us sat in on all of the interviews and some people were in and out of different interviews. So we're just going to get together and compare notes and offer the position to, I would say, one of the 3 candidates we have that are at disposal. I think we'll offer a position.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks for that recap. Like I said, we had 3 very qualified candidates and we're really looking forward to, hiring one and moving forward. But on that note, we also need to extend a very great thank you and appreciation to Greg Whitmore for his service. He will be, well, I know he's had a lot of personal changes in his life. He's getting married, he's moving, he got a new job and all that good stuff. But in the midst of all that, he has been keeping up with the certifications that have been coming in and grading them. And it's been really well received. And I know that we appreciate all of his time and effort, especially doing all the training videos and actually getting our certification process going for our consortium. I did want to go ahead and make a mention that hopefully we might have somebody in place by September 1st, so there won't be much of a downtime between our consortium catalogers. I mean, that's kind of what I'm hoping for personally, but we'll see how well we can get things moving to hire the new person for that position. We do have the Missouri Evergreen meeting calendar. I just put those links in there. I know me personally, I look at that calendar probably every day, just to make sure I'm not missing something. And therefore, I just want to call attention to the link that gets you right to our meeting calendar. So that way you can actually update your calendar with all of our executive board meetings, membership meetings, and all of our committee meetings as well. Moving on to the executive director's report. Mickey, floor is yours.
Hi, I'm going to turn my camera on so you can at least see my eyes. I'm sorry, everybody, but I came back from a library conference in Missoula, Montana over the weekend, and unfortunately, I was exposed to the COVID-19 virus and contracted it. So I've been ill for the past couple of days, but I'm much improved thanks to everyone who sent kind messages. I do want to talk a little bit about the very first Missouri Evergreen Users Conference, which we're all very excited about. After 10 years of existence, we're all finally getting a chance to get together face to face or online, as it were. This will certainly be a hybrid conference. And we have been able to establish a date and a place for our users conference. The date is April 13th and 14th, 2023, and the location will be the MoreNet offices in Columbia, Missouri. We selected a location for its centrality. We know that it's always difficult for people to get anywhere in our large state, but we think Columbia is a pretty fair place, accessible. We still have a lot of arrangements to make, but we're very pleased that the users conference will be modeled very much after our successful MPLD or Missouri Public Library Director meetings, which is to say we'll start on a Thursday and we'll continue into a Friday. So it'll be one overnight for the attendees. We have already spoken with the state library. In fact, the state library is a significant funding partner in this users conference. They're 100% behind us, and they are very pleased that we are able to offer this opportunity for our membership to gather together in person and online. So the first users conference is going to be April 13th and 14th of 2023. And we have a lot of planning to do for it, but tentatively our ideas around it are to provide some educational sessions, some training sessions on Missouri Evergreen. It will be a social opportunity for those of us who have spoken with each other or interacted with each other as libraries, but never met, to actually share a few cocktails or drinks or coffee or whatever with each other and get to know each other. It's a great opportunity, and I'm so pleased that the membership is going to have this chance to hopefully participate in what we will see as an annual event, a users conference. Couple of quick questions to answer that may have come up. One is, do you have to attend in person? No, you do not. However, if you choose to attend, the state library will make the Show Me grant available if you want to apply for some grant money to spend a night in Columbia to attend the training. So again, this will be like any other training event in our state. You will be eligible to apply for those Show Me Steps grant funds to attend. So I hope you'll all consider it, regardless of the size or location of your library. I hope you'll all consider attending that users conference. I think it's going to be a very special event. For those who cannot attend, we will be working with MoreNet to provide a link so that you can participate in sessions remotely, that you can be part of the activity and participate in the goodwill and the educational chances that we'll have for people to learn more about Missouri Evergreen. It's very exciting, and we'll be doing a lot of planning. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you have any input, certainly now's the time to start offering it. So please contact any board member or me personally and let me know what your thoughts are. We're very excited about it. Thank you.
Mickey, is this, we had talked about having regional meetings. So this is going to be held instead of having regional meetings?
It's not instead of, it's something that we're planning as sort of a super event, but the regional meetings the planning for that will continue.
Okay. It is exciting. I'm glad we're doing this.
Yes, I am too. And I want to do both. I want to do regional meetings and I want to do the users conference. I think the more times that we can actually network together in person or even hybrid, that it just makes us a better consortium going forward. I think, Mickey, the next thing we have on your director's reports would be adding branches in lockers or service outlets. If you could talk to that, please.
Yeah, this one's a little bit thorny, so stick with me on this. I just wanted to clarify something that the board has discussed and that we're moving forward with for membership. Some of you have requested what we call additional service outlets with Equinox, meaning that you've opened up lockers in your system, or you have added a branch location. And what's happened in the past, all of that, the fees for that. And of course, Equinox charges a little bit of money to have a new outlet created and opened up for your system. In the past, what's happened is that Missouri Evergreen has just absorbed that additional cost into their budget. And that was principally because the migration was part of Missouri Evergreen's budget. But as you know, in the past few years, we've separated out the migration part, and that is a separate grant that happens between the library and the State Library of Missouri. So that, you get basically all of those outlets covered when you come in for your migration. So anything that is paid for as part of your migration grant, whether you have, one outlet, one location, or 5 or whatever, that's all in the grant, and that's great. You're in part of Missouri Evergreen. However, there's a situation, many of them, most recently with 4 or 5 libraries that have requested what we call lockers. We've had, let's see, who's done this? Additional outlets have been provided for libraries such as Poplar Bluff, Jeff County, Neosho, Little Dixie, Lebanon, Laclede. And that means that they're growing. They are providing services to their community through lockers and outlets and all that. But each one of those additions to the catalog for them means that there's an additional cost that's charged to Missouri Evergreen from Equinox. Now, what we have discussed as a board and what we'd like to move forward with is to basically separate out those charges and have each individual library contract through a memorandum of understanding directly with Equinox. In other words, getting us out of the middle of that. So if a library were to come aboard tomorrow that says, hey, I'm going to open up some lockers in my northern location, I'm going to need an outlet there would be an MOU between that library and Equinox, and Missouri Evergreen would be informed of it, of course, but we would not be involved in the actual contract. So moving forward, we're going to try and get ME out of the middle of it and just have any additional outlets that are contracted by you member libraries happen directly between you and Equinox. I hope that makes sense to everybody. The cost of those outlets is like $1,000, something like that. It's a fairly nominal fee, but it is something that adds up in our budget, since we don't budget for it. It's just an additional fee we have to absorb in our budget. So we're trying to sort of separate that out and make sure that each individual library contracts for that, budgets for that, and interacts with Equinox as an independent unit.
I did want to add to that, Mickey, a full service outlet is 1,000, but a limited service outlet like hold pickup lockers or pickup windows, I think 150, just FYI. Yeah.
And I'm almost sure that most libraries have some kind of grant funding in order to actually attain the locker system. So I might be just one other extra item that we need to possibly put into the grant item. Our grant request is just for those additional charges from Equinox when you're filling out your grant paperwork, possibly. I mean, that's just something. So I know that that's just a suggestion. That's just it, just a suggestion. Is there any other questions going forward about that, or? No. If you do have questions, please contact me and or Mickey, and we can explain that a little bit further, and exactly when that would be. Were we going to start that during this new fiscal year? Is that what we were thinking? like as of September 1st, that's when we were going to, I don't know, we might need to look at that as a policy possible. We'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Yeah, I
we
think
wanted-
so. Thank you.
yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and I know, but we just wanted our general membership to know what's going on. And, you know, like I said, right now, previously, Missouri Evergreen has been absorbing those costs, and they have not been budgeted as we move forward. All right, I think our next item on the agenda would be our financial reports with Jeff. And give me a moment and I will get that up for you as well. Okay, there you go, Jeff. Floor is yours.
Thank you. There's nothing really unusual about these reports for the month of July. As Kristen and has sent reminders to Keith and myself concerning just a couple of announcements. The Markive invoices will be generated and issued at the first half of September and will be backdated to August 31st. And our membership invoices will be generated and issued in the 1st of September as well. So this being my first report, is there anything that any questions anybody has about these reports, or anything you'd like for me to point out? Okay, well, if so, that is all I have.
I'm sure that we need to have a motion to approve the financial reports. So I would entertain that motion now.
It's Colleen, I so moved.
Thank you, Colleen. A second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you, Shannon. Once again, because of how we're meeting, if anyone has an objection, they need to speak now. Otherwise, we will pass by acclamation. All right. Let's go to our committee reports. Kate, the floor is yours, and I know you have lots to talk about.
Good morning, everybody. First, we'll start with some great news. We have, as you can see there in the agenda, we've had 100 basic certs done and 57 advanced certifications done as of this Monday. That is fantastic. Remember that every Missouri Evergreen library needs to have at least one advanced cataloger certified person on staff. We do have a deadline of August 31st. If your library certifications are still pending, Mickey and Sue have been reaching out to those libraries, and we'll be following up. And we'd like to help you in any way we can to get those completed. We are almost at 100%. I just could not be happier. This is almost like a dream come true. We are drafting a media piracy policy. I think we'll probably easily have that done. The board will review it, and then we will present it at the next membership meeting, which is what, October. So just a quick overview of that. If we find something that we believe is counterfeit material, which does happen inadvertently, I'm sure, from libraries. They get something and just assume because they bought it from wherever, you know, most likely Amazon or something like that, that it's legitimate, and that's not always the case. So we will have a policy on how to review those and how to remove them and that kind of thing. And just
Kate, on the same
yes.
kind of subject, is there anything in the cataloging policy about advanced reader copies?
I believe there is. I can't say that off the top of my head. Best practice, I know for sure we do not add those.
Okay, because it just popped into my head that maybe that would be something that could be rolled into this if it's not already.
Appreciate that suggestion. Thank you, Diane. And just The next meeting is Monday, September 12th. I will say that this past meeting this week, I had a call out to the cataloging listserv for topics for discussions in the meeting, and we really had a great response of catalogers saying, hey, can we talk about this? Can we review that? So we did do a few things on Monday, and so we have topics to review for the next several meetings. Each meeting, I will be trying to go over some process or something that is helpful to catalogers, and try to have a real productive meeting. So yeah, the next meeting is 11 o'clock on Monday, September 12th. Any other questions for me?
I'm just going to give you some great kudos, Kate, because I attended that cataloging meeting this month, and you had like 54 people show up for that, and that was like outstanding. So
Very
yeah.
pleased with the
Yeah.
attendance and everything lately. We've
Yes.
had good communication between the catalogers, and that of course makes me very happy. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sue.
Yeah, of course. All right, moving on to circulation committee. Rhonda, the floor is yours.
Hi, we got together on July 26th and had a discussion about the need to remind libraries to place a transit slip in every single item that is moving between one library and another, even if it's just going home. The other thing we talked about is please don't use tape on that transit slip or even an Evergreen item condition report. Try not to tape those in. Rather, if you feel like you need extra stability there, use a rubber band or a paper clip or something that's removable. We're having some items that have been damaged with tape, and it wasn't, no malicious intent, but let's try to not do that. If you need more information to give to your staff on best practices for handling items moving back and forth between libraries, it's in the Missouri Evergreen Materials Handling Best Practices document, and that is located under the Member Resources tab and under Circulation Training tab under that in the Missouri website. And pretty much that's it.
All right, thank you, Rhonda. Let's see. I don't know if Tony's going to be available, if he's even on the call with the reports. He said he would be in and out today. He just said that basically they've been going over the training modules of the reports as during their meeting when the members ask for some additional training. Like I said, I'm not for sure if he's here or not. I know he said he was going to be in and out, so we're going to just, but of course they have their next meeting on the 23rd of this month. Nope, sorry, on the 11th. Oh, that's today. That's today at 2 p.m. So hop on over and see what Tony is talking about with some more reports training. Onboarding committee, Leanne.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I don't really have much to go over other than just updating on the upcoming libraries. We've got Barton County scheduled for November and December of this year. We've got the member libraries or mentor libraries of Stone County and Neosho Newton that are helping out with the migration there. And then in April, we've got Mississippi County, and then summer of next year, St. Joseph, and then Bonne Terre Memorial and Morgan County coming up after that. And we will have our next meeting on October 6th at 10 a.m. And I do encourage anyone that wants to be active with the committee to please, be in touch and join the meetings.
We do have a firm date on Barton, don't we now?
Yes, we do. That date is November 14th, and the director at Barton County is Carol Darrow. So welcome to our newest acquisition.
Are any of those libraries going to have to re-barcode?
No.
Okay.
Yay. All right, next, I put Steve down, but I think it's actually going to be Diane talking about the demos, please.
It is, and you've got the date there, September the 15th at 10 o'clock. Steve told me that there are several libraries that are planning to attend, Ferguson, Kirkwood, Nevada, sorry, can't attend, but they're going to they're going to watch the recording. Sarcoxy and Sedalia. He told me those are all planning to attend. There has been a little bit of confusion that he's going to be working out with whether or not this is a demo or like a refresher training thing. So some of our member libraries want to attend, but it's really not going to be anything that's going to help a current member. So Steve's working on that. He told me that he is going to do the introduction about what Missouri Evergreen is. Rhonda Bussey from Cass County is going to do the circulation part. Ron Eifert at Sykeston is going to do cataloging. Jennifer Weston from Equinox is going to talk about reports. Any questions?
Diane, one thing I did have a question about, it's a demo, but when we have a new director who is so unfamiliar with Evergreen and the whole ILS system, is it something that maybe they should be attending if we have a new director in place?
I think it's more talking about selling points than how to actually use the ILS.
Right.
Trying to think back to when we've done it in the past, and I've just talked about features that circulation has. It's not, it wouldn't be a waste of time, that's for sure.
Right. But yeah, that was my question. I didn't know if it would be something that would kind of familiarize a new director of a current member library. If that would be helpful for them. I know with Leanne, I know we kind of asked her to do a little new director onboarding as well. So I just didn't know if that would be pertinent for that person coming in.
Yeah, because it's someone who's already had the Equinox training has gone beyond what is covered in the demo, I would think.
Okay.
Kate, you've
And
done
the
some of
thing
this.
is, yeah, many of our new directors come from outside the library world, and that's been fairly common in our recent spate of new directors. And so I think it actually might be useful for some of the new directors to come into this, even though its purpose, I think, as you said, Diane, is really more to promote the ILS itself and then our resource sharing. But boy, I can see where it could be really helpful. So I hope Steve will take that into consideration as well.
That's a good point. I'm not thinking about people who are coming from the non-library world,
right, yeah.
where any piece of information is helpful. So I'll pass that on to him.
Okay.
Thank you
for that. All right. Reciprocal borrowing agreement. Jeff, do you want to give us an update on that, please?
So the update is it's really not gone anywhere since our last meeting. Although I talked to Steve Campbell and we'll be reviewing this with the committee. The thought is that we'll want to take a vote on the most recent draft that I'll be sending out to the reciprocal borrowing agreement committee, but that also maybe this vote encompasses the whole Missouri Evergreen reciprocal borrowing agreement as it stands, not just the draft, but the agreement that we have right now. We have 15 libraries that are part of that agreement. So the thought is, would it be more beneficial to the libraries to reach out to other libraries and create their own reciprocal borrowing agreement with each other, and that we don't have a Missouri Evergreen agreement.
So lack of movement, which is okay. That's not a problem. I don't want to stress you out on that, Jeff, but I know it's
Mhm.
just a matter of,
Well,
I know
there's been a lot of movement, Sue. It's with each movement, there's been a new draft. And so,
right, okay,
and with the last draft, which is the final draft that I'll bring to the committee again, there was no agreement on that either. So,
Okay.
I guess the recent movement is, we'll bring the draft to the membership to be voted on in our next meeting, but between then and with further discussion is how do we want to handle the Missouri Evergreen reciprocal borrowing agreement as a whole? Do we want to continue with that? Do we want to just go back to the way it was, which was pretty flawed, and I mean 15 people joining kind of is not an indictment, but there's not a whole lot of enthusiasm around that. And would it be better just to scrap the agreement and allow our library, our membership libraries to, and I think they're already doing that, to create agreements with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jeff, for that update. We appreciate that. I'm going to ask Keith with Amigos if he has anything to add, please.
Sorry, I was trying to get unmuted.
Oh,
No,
that's right.
yeah, no, nothing new to add unless you all have questions about the balance sheet or the income statement. I know you covered it with Jeff earlier, but I
Right,
didn't
yeah.
know if you had questions for me, so.
All right, thank you, Keith. Yeah, I don't think that we had any questions. It's like I said, there wasn't a lot of movement on the financials during the month, just because it's that time of year. You know, we're not billing, we're not, of course, we've already talked about the Marchive invoices and how they're going to be backdated. And since we have an approved budget, we'll be getting that to you very soon. All right, thank you. I don't believe anybody from the state library is on, but please correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm here,
Oh,
Janet.
There's Janet. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think Robin is here. So I want to say that we are excited to help the Missouri Evergreen Consortium First Users Conference with the grant. We've talked with Mickey, and I know we'll be having some conversations with him later about making sure what expenses can fall under the grant and which expenses would have to be covered by the consortium, which is mainly swag and food, just so you know that. But we're excited to that you're having the first conference, and we hope that, as Mickey and Sue have said, that it becomes an annual event. If you do have a grant or do want to write a grant for lockers, as Sue has mentioned, you can include the expense for Equinox to do their part to be able to get that locker and that service spot into Evergreen. So do include that into your grant request. And then the two other things I have been announced on PublibDir, and that is for the Tumble Books contract is ending on September 30th. And Tumbleweed Press, who is the vendor for Tumble Books, is providing a discount for libraries. So if you want to continue Tumble Books, you can reach out to them, and we'll be sending out another announcement on PublibDir that has their contact information, so you can reach out to them. If you do not continue with your own subscription, you will need to have any links or information about Tumble Books removed from your website. Just as a reminder, I know sometimes that gets overlooked. And then the last thing is the change for the OCLC ILL contract for FY23. So the good news on that is that the state library contract included the access monthly fees that was usually paid by libraries individually. And now that is rolled into our state contract. So libraries will not be billed either monthly, quarterly, or even annually, depending on how you had that set up with OCLC for your ILL access fees. And again, that is only for the ILL access fees. Cataloging, easy proxy, content DM, all that is still the responsibility of the library, because our contract is only for WorldShare ILL and First Search WorldCat Discovery Service. And during this fall, we will be looking at which OCLC services libraries use. We want to make sure that we're providing good services from OCLC to you. And we know some libraries would prefer to have maybe cataloging subsidized versus ILL. So we're going to be looking at that and see what would be, which services we can provide to provide a best service to you and then to your patrons. So we'll be looking at that. And so in FY24, there may be another change to our statewide contract for OCLC services. And we'll keep you updated, and we will be asking for your input. And that's all I have. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Janet. We're excited
welcome.
about all of the great things that the state library is doing for our consortium as a whole.
Sue, I have a question for Janet.
Sure.
Janet, are you at liberty to talk about your newest hire there at the state library?
Oh, yes. You would have to put me on the spot about her name, though. So we've hired a consultant for library administration and management. Her first name is Diana, and she will be working with libraries to for like trustee training, getting directors up to speed on what the state library can provide, other library and resources and services that's available in the state, assist with, okay, for policies, make sure these are the kind of policies you want to have for you. And there's going to be some things, we provide suggestions for. We can't tell you really what to do, but, provide a resource of here's where you can go to get some additional information. Sorry, you did kind of put me on the spot, Mickey.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm just so excited because I think this person at the state library has the potential to do great things for Missouri Evergreen members. I think I'm really looking forward to a partnership with your newest hire.
Right. And then as the new directors for Missouri Evergreen, new directors, we'll be reaching out to them as letting them know, what grants we have and things like that. So we really are looking forward to this. And also not only for the directors, but also looking at for training for staff. Several years ago, we did some like cataloging, circulation training, just kind of things like that, not only for Missouri Evergreen, but statewide. So we'll also be looking at that again too.
All right, thank you, Janet. I have Mala and Jane, but I don't think she's not on our call today. I do know I'm gonna just send some reminders out there. If you need bags, email Mala. Don't try to interchange bags between consortium members because they need to keep count and stock, and they'll send you the bags that you need. But she's really responsive in that respect. And also any kind of courier service deliveries or hiccups along the way, once again, fill out the forms for Mala to report that. So that way, if she knows about it, then she can handle it on her end as well. All right, now we are going to go to other matters. Is there something else we need to talk about? Yes.
real quick before we move on, talking about the courier service issues, there is a direct link from the Mo Evergreen Library's website on the front page of that. Make that easier for people to report those issues.
Thank you, Ron. Of course, there's a link on our website because you made it happen. Thank you. All right. Anything else that we need to discuss? All right. Do we actually motion to adjourn or we just say goodbye? Which way do we want to do it? I think let me go back to the minutes, find out. Let's see if we had a motion. Yep. Okay. If there's nothing else to discuss, then I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Michael Davis.
Thank you, Michael. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you,
Jeff.
Jeff. All right. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thanks for thanks everyone for a great meeting and have a great weekend coming up.
Sue, your first meeting was under an hour.
Yeah.
That was my
Thank
goal.
you, Sue.
That was my
Very
goal.
nice
Look at
meeting.
that.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Good
Right.
job, Sue.
Huge. It's very
Wonderful.
big. Quite an accomplishment.
Thank you. That was my goal. Okay, I was looking at that clock too, believe me. All right. All right. I need to double check on, I didn't check the chat. I'm so sorry. I should.
I've been keeping an eye on it, Sue.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. All right. So with all of that, I think I'm going to stop this meeting and you guys have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye.